Welcome to the channel. Did you know? Please click like and share. For everyone to benefit, let's go.
100 Technology Facts. What more could your inner geek need? Technology, ever-changing and ever-growing, brings us the future we've always imagined. But how did it get to where we are now? And where will it go next? Did you know that you could earn money for finding bugs with Facebook? Do you know the actual meaning of Android? Or how much of the world's currency is digital? Find the answers to these tech questions here. With these 100 tech facts, you'll find interesting tidbits from computers and the internet, to gaming gadgets and tech giants such as Google, Apple, and Microsoft. So without further ado, here are the top 100 surprising technology facts that you, probably, didn't know. 1. The Firefox logo isn't a fox. There is a common misbelief that because the browser is named Firefox, the logo must be a fox. Surprisingly, the cute furry creature in the logo is actually a red panda. 2. The first Apple logo isn't what you would think. Originally, it featured Sir Isaac Newton sitting beneath a tree, with an apple about to fall on his head. It was designed back in 1976 and featured a phrase around the border which read Newton, a mind forever voyaging through strange seas of thought, alone. Seems kind of dark. 3. Google rents out goats. You read that right. Instead of mowing their lawn, Google rents goats to eat the grass at their Mountain View headquarters. A herder will bring 200 goats which are herded by a border collie named Jen. 4. The name for robot has dark origins. If you look into the etymology of robot, it comes from the Czech word robota, which translates to forced labor or work. The word was first used to refer to a fictional humanoid in a play in 1920. 5. The first ever VCR was the size of a piano. When the first VCR, video camera recorder, was made in 1956, it was the size of a piano. Way bigger than I would have guessed. 6. Samsung is 38 years and 1 month older than Apple. Samsung was founded as a grocery store on March 1, 1938, by Lee Byung-chul. Apple founders Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak created Apple Computer Incorporated on April 1, 1976. 7. A petabyte is a lot of data. We all know 1 gigabyte is the same 1024 megabytes, but did you know that 1 petabyte, PB, is equivalent to 1024 terabytes, TB? To give an example of how big this is, a 1 petabyte hard drive could hold 13.3 years of HD TV video. A 50 petabytes hard drive could hold the entire written works of mankind, from the beginning of recorded history, in all languages. 8. Domain name registration used to be free. Way back when people didn't realize how huge the internet would be, registering a domain name was free until 1995. When a fee was introduced, it was high. Prices were typically $100 for 2 years of registration. 9. Megabytes used to weigh hundreds of pounds. More specifically, 5 megabytes of data weighed 1 ton. In 1956, the first computer had something similar to a hard drive. At the time, it was a huge leap in storage capabilities, but the cabinet that contained the hard drive weighed over 2,200 pounds and could hold 5 MBs of data. 10. The radio took 38 years to reach an audience of 50 million. You would think the invention of the radio would be a big deal, but it took 38 years for the radio to reach an audience of 50 million. Meanwhile, the iPod only took 3 years to reach the same milestone. 11. The first camera needed an incredibly long exposure, The first photograph ever taken in 1826 took 8 hours to expose. The creator of that camera, Louis Daguerre, was able to lower that time drastically to just 15 minutes in 1839. 12. Credit card chips have been around for a long time. To many, credit card chips are a relatively new fad. However, the chip technology has been around since 1986. It was first used in France, followed shortly after by Germany. 13. Alexa is always listening to your conversations. This probably isn't new to you. Siri has been doing it forever. Alexa stores your dialogue history to its cloud to help improve your Alexa experience. But, you can review and delete these recordings, either in bulk, or individually. 14. People read faster or slower depending what they read from. Not only do you blink less when you're on a computer, but reading from a screen also slows you down. On average, people read 10% slower from a screen than from paper. As for the blinking part, did you know that during everyday life, people normally blink at a rate of 20 times per minute? 15. GPS is free. For some. Even though it is free to use GPS globally, it costs $2 million to operate every day. This money comes from American tax revenue. 16. There are Amish computers. There are computers specially designed without internet, video, or music capabilities, just for the Amish. The features include word processing, drawing, accounting, spreadsheets, and more, but not much more. 17. Mac computers were named after the Apple. It's not a coincidence that Macintosh is similar to the Apple's called Macintosh. The name was misspelled on purpose to avoid conflict with a manufacturer called Macintosh Laboratory. 18. The first computer mouse wasn't made from plastic. Back in 1964, Doug Engelbart invented the first ever computer mouse. Back then, it was made out of wood. It was rectangular and featured a little button on the top right. He called it a mouse because the cord coming out of the back reminded him of the tiny rodents. 19. Which came first, spam mail or spam meat? Spam mail was named after the canned meat. In a Monty Python skit, they said spam meat was horrible and being ubiquitous and inescapable. Sounds pretty accurate to the annoying junk mail I get. Also, did you know that on average, for every spam email sent, they only get one reply for every 12 million spam emails sent? 20. The original Xbox had sound snippets of real space missions. The original Xbox contained edited sound bites from actual transmissions from the Apollo missions. If you left the Xbox on the home screen, eventually you'll hear whispers of conversation, actual chatter from the Apollo mission. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.